This is my horses that are just learning. This is my old broke horses. I'm going to start with getting control of the feet. So I'm going to start by getting him to cross his hind end. And this seems like it's a monotonous process because you hear me talking about controlling the hips and controlling the shoulders, but it's as much to keep them in their peak condition. They're an athlete, so we need to keep their body parts free and loose, and we don't want them to be restricted in whether it's the hip or the shoulder or being able to just pick up their feet and their ribs. So I'm just going to ask him to push his hip out and cross over his hind legs. 2 steps. 1, 2. 1. Hey. Lift up his ribs. Get him using his hind end efficiently. I'm going to lift up his ribs. He's a little bit fresh today. He hasn't worked on this stuff a whole lot. He's not super focused on me, so I'm just going to play with this for a little bit. There we go. Around a barrel. So it's not that we're going to start on the pattern, we're actually just going to start on one. I've done a lot of clinics, barrel racing clinics. I've had barrel horses not even be able to travel properly around a barrel. So that's the first place I go, is to that barrel to make sure they know how to travel properly and hold a circle. They can't hold a circle around a barrel or just a circle period. How the heck do you expect them to run a pattern efficiently? I mean, they'll run a pattern, but just not efficiently. There. So Memphis has done this long enough that he knows to keep that circle. There, I got to remind him. But I know I've done the foundation where he needs to keep, he does know how to do it. I've just got to remind him. There. And it's proper posture. So when I'm moving, and don't be afraid to ask me questions, you guys. I don't want to get too far. Huh?
I didn't want to interrupt. But
Oh, don't, please. That's why we're doing it. Okay, so inside leg. I'm pushing that hip out.
Yeah.
And then I just switch legs. I use that outside leg. I cross the front end over. And then inside leg. Outside leg.
Okay.
Inside leg.
It's opposite. I see what you're saying.
Outside leg.
Got you.
And it's not like I totally just use one. What's that?
So he's following your range. That's why he keeps spinning in those things.
I'm just leading with my hands. Just a guide. He's willingly guiding. Okay, I love the phrase willingly guiding. I'm willingly guiding him in the direction I want to go, right? He's not throwing his head like that colt was yesterday. He's just following my hand.
Is this the foundation for reining?
This is the foundation for everything.
What's it called when you spin on one foot?
What's that?
What's it called when you spin on one foot
What's
again?
a spin?
What?
A spin.
But when you do it really fast.
Yeah, a spin. That's a spin. And then a rollback's just half a turn. So we're just building this side. Does that cover that, Asha?
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. But you see how much I move my body. So I guess let's touch on our body. So if I'm riding a circle to the right, which stirrup should my weight be in?
The right?
What's that?
The right?
Who said left? Judy, yeah, left.
That's wild.
I want to follow him around that circle. And when I have my body right,
What?
everybody says you've got to put your leg in certain places. When my body's correct, my legs go exactly where they're supposed to go. Okay, so my inside leg, because I'm on that outside stirrup, my inside leg's a little bit forward and my outside leg's a little bit back. And that's just naturally how I'm sitting because I've got my weight proper on his body. There, look how consistent he's getting now. Like I'm hardly even having to do anything. And this is the foundation I want to have on him before I even take him to a pattern. A lot of people go to a pattern way too soon and then end up having to fix problems because they didn't put the proper foundation on. So now let's go to low. Same idea. I want him to follow that circle. I want to keep him thinking about being collected and using his body efficiently. You guys see him really driving with his hind end, reaching underneath himself. And if you see a horse out in the pasture, that's how they travel. They travel with their heads down. They don't travel, I mean, you do see the horses that are built differently that do travel with their necks up because that's the way their heads come out of their shoulders, their necks come out of their shoulders. But he's very flat across his top line, so he naturally will travel flat. And when he runs flat, he'll be even faster than if his head was up in the air. There. Lost it for a sec, and then release. Go from this barrel to that barrel. Is it an S? Is it a circle?
Straight?
It's a line, right? It's a straight line. So our lines are very important. If we don't have straight lines, you're giving away points. You're giving away seconds that you don't need to give away. So now I'm going to start working on my lines. I'm going to work on my circle, and I'm going to go out on my lines. Another thing I'm going to have to watch with him is anticipation, because he's done this a fair bit. He's going to want to anticipate, and he may fall apart with his body, but then I'll just build him back up again. He kind of knows what's happening. So I'll just go straight. Go to a circle. Now you always start slow. Walk before you run. You don't want to go. You want to build to that. You want to hit that peak, but make sure he's comfortable when he hits that peak. He's taking it. The best way for him to sit down and turn is if he goes straight into a circle. So if he's turning before he slows down, he's not going to be efficient. I want to be on a straight line. I want him to sit down with his hind end and then make my circle. Using his body properly before I go to the next step. There. You almost had it. So he slowed down good, then his body fell apart. Sit. Took him a sec, but he came back to me. I think this next one will be a good one. Wasn't real pretty, but he at least came back to me nice.
back here, nice. What does that mean?
Like slow there, like that. He slowed down to be nice there.
Oh, he's like listening to you.
Yeah, I don't want him rooting on my hands. I don't want him. We're teaching him what speed is, right? Bringing him up, bringing him down, bringing him up, bringing him down. The next step is to set up a pattern. Then we start patterning a horse. But I never pattern a horse until they can do all those things, because you don't want to have to undo. You don't want to be fixing. It's a lot easier to start them properly than it is to go back and put pieces together. So I'll set up our garbage cans in somewhat of a pattern. Than me being in the way. You guys don't have many gravel roads here, but in Canada we get roads with a really high crown, so it's like high in the middle, and then like it slopes off. And then if you try to drive in the middle, then you're steering all the time, right? But if you kind of are on one side, it's a lot easier to follow that ridge.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You're not tipsy-turny all day.
But if you were to go the other direction, you would lean on that other leg. Then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then your legs are in the right spot.
Okay.
When you're on the outside stirrup, and then you end up with a whole nother mess. So you gotta keep your horse honest. Honest and accountable. He knows what's going on. That's better. Way better.
What do you think about that?
Nice.
Cool.
There we go.